What degree gives you the highest salary? We are Talks in Bolehland. We are a bunch of millennials talking about everything and anything. So, as mentioned earlier, what degree you study now will give you the highest salary? Lawyers?
Lawyers,
I don't
doctors,
think-
engineers.
Lawyers?
the big three.
Engineers?
The
Yeah,
big
the
traditional
doctors.
Accountant.
But we have accountant too general already, so maybe it's a bit saturated the market for accountant students nowadays. I don't know lah. Pray the best for you all accountant students out there lah. It's just our opinion really.
Relax lah, bro. Law probably
Law
earns quite a lot,
isn't-
right?
Yeah.
No, not exactly.
you only see like the glamorized part lah. Yeah, sure like they earn a lot of money, but I don't think it's as much as other emerging industry, like in tech or in software developing and all that.
Might be in like long term if you have a law firm yourself, but like compare with software engineering where we first enter or after we finish our bar, right? The entry salary, it still depends on the size of the firm, because I still heard like stories like people still only get like 2.8 as a junior lawyer, like entry level. But like compared with software engineering, I think I heard more story about software engineering entry salary is quite good. 3Ks, I don't know, 4Ks or even 5K.
Okay, there are lah in
Yeah,
KL.
3K is like it's a pretty good number for compared to a lot of industries already. Like lawyers if you just finish your chambering and all that, right? You get quite lucky lah if they pay you 3K like in a medium-sized firm or small firm.
Yeah.
So even after you study that hard, you only get that much in KL.
Yes, exactly. After study that hard, yes.
I think it's just the
Wow.
bosses lah. The bosses are eating up all the money. They'll be like, oh, you little folks, little juniors, you just gotta learn it the hard way. I'm gonna get the money, you guys gonna get the experience. We pay you with exposure. That's
You
all
need
you
to show
need.
them lah. That's why you see a lot of advertisement, right? Advertising for entry-level jobs, but you need 3 years of experience.
It's ridiculous.
What about entry-level salary?
Entry
For
level.
comparing to all-
I've heard like 5K, but it's a very rare job. It's like a petroleum engineer. You get sent off lah. To an oil rig for I don't know 3, 4, 5 months over there, and you're all stuck with the same bunch of people, which are mainly guys. And you get like 5K a month, which is good pay.
No, you get 5K and you don't have to pay rent.
Right. But you're stuck
Yeah, but
with
you live in
bunch of guys,
in an oil rig lah. That's the
That's the other side of the story.
What about other jobs?
IT
I think
is
do
for-
medicals have high pay?
None of our medical peers have graduated yet.
So we don't know.
Oh well, that's
We
true,
don't
right?
know.
Right now, quarter life and
It's a
and
very
yeah,
long
there's still
investment.
so that one is still TBA lah.
Apart from us considering the salary, right, we also have to consider like how important is the degree to the job lah. Like we were mentioning about medical just now, why it's very long for them, because medical is a field that if you don't have a degree, you really can't work. You can't really be in the field. It's a different
Right.
story if you are studying accounts, then you can maybe jump to become a property agent, or you can jump to become a security guard lah. It's still possible.
About that part, like sometimes there are super vague degrees. I think like business degree is one of it. It's very vague. It's way too wide, and I think even the entry level, as in to enter into a business education, what university kind of thing, it's also like very vague. But I think like anyone can do it lah. I think it's one of the easiest kind of degrees to be done as well. It's like it's done, which I think is quite useless lah.
Oh no, because
I think a lot of this tertiary level education, they don't really reflect what is needed in the practical world. In our jobs, in our future jobs, it's not reflected in there.
yeah, mostly what we study also, I think, is the very outdated syllabus. Like honestly speaking, public U experience, TITAS. Yes, it is important to study sejarah, but must you really emphasize it so much? Like the credit hours is crazy, And I mean, right now I really forget everything already. Tamadun Islam, Tamadun, the C3 something, Kedah Tua, stuff like that. It's not it's just interesting to learn as a side note.
Yeah, the whole studying subject that's useless is, I think it's more of our education thing, because I did a mass communication course. So in mass comm, I had to study like a management course. I had to take an IT course, write a thesis, do a paper. And I'm thinking like, what's the paper going to do us in the future in my next job? I'm not going to write theses and papers for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Like, what is the point of that even?
Personally for me, right, because I'm an architecture student, there are many things I learned which are really useful, especially in life as well. But there are also really lots of shit stuff which is totally useless, because the things we learn, right, in architecture school, it reflects to like 10% of architecture firms out there, you know, like we call them the elites lah, where you have the freedom to do any sort of shit lah. But the remaining like 80%, 90%, like you're bounded by money, clients and all this kind of thing, and you don't really have such freedom to do this kind of things. So it's not reflected, you know, in our education. There's nothing totally nothing about buying the heart of your customer.
For all this experience and all these positive things of going to a university and get a degree, right? In the job corporate world, how important is the degree for you to get a job? Let's say if you have all the talents and the skills, just that you don't have the paper qualifications, right?
I think
because mostly
in
now
Malaysia, in Malaysia, it's all about the degree. Sadly, that's the case where if you don't have a paper, they're not going to look at you. They just want that piece of paper. I mean, sadly, it has come to that. I mean, in our case here, yeah.
It's not because of that also, but people just go into the easy way out. They just like, hey, they do the back door lah, you know, under the table, you buy the degree lah, easy. Save time, okay, not save money, but save time lah.
I think it's the social pressure, like having a degree is such a norm now that like after high school you have to get a degree, and then like it's the pressure of having that degree just to secure a job. Without that, you can't do anything with the life. I think that's the mindset that has been put into a lot of us, which why people do that, the backdoor thing, buying degrees and so on.
But then, so like from the start of the point, right, will it be ethical though for you to buy a degree and you have the talent, you buy the degree, you apply the job, will it be ethical then?
I mean, ethical definitely no lah, you know. It's definitely not ethical, you know, despite how talented you are. If you're good enough lah. Don't need degree. Why do you need a degree to prove you're good, right?
So with this circumstance, this position, right, you have all the talents, but you just don't have the funds to get a paper qualification. Then maybe you are in a suit situation lah. I think everyone wants suits lah. You're damn smart. You enter, you are able to get employed in somewhere, but to get a promotion or somewhere, you need a paper qualification. Then you have to buy the paper. Will it still be right?
I mean, I get your point, you know, you are already there in the professional field, the practical world as well. And all of a sudden, just because of that, you got to take an exam and like go back to school level.
I'm just thinking that like now, like the cost of going to uni, is it equals to the cost of buying and getting all the repercussions out of it? What's the balance there?
Well, if you're paying the same price as a 3-year degree and just buying the degree, it's probably more worth it to just buy the degree. Because you save the time, you know, 3 years of time, which 3 years time you can actually do a lot more. Like you can probably earn back the amount of money which you spent on it.
There's another aspect to it, like it depends what degree you're buying. I wouldn't want someone, let's say a doctor, right? to have his medical degree bought, and I'm getting advice from that doctor. I wouldn't want that, but if let's say it's a very let's say it's an arts degree, you know, and the artist in some situation needs a paper qualification to get into let's say a museum job or something like that. In that sense, right, it can be justifiable, but it's still a very morally bankrupt thing to do lah.
But when you won't blame the buyer. Will you blame the system? Because the system is the one that says, to become a chief engineer officer or what, you need to have at least a master's. Wouldn't you blame them instead of the buyer?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard companies where they don't give promotions just because they don't have this particular paper qualification, which I do feel sort of unfair, because maybe the person actually does have the skill and they prove themselves time again that they are capable of doing their job, right? And just because they lack that one little piece of paper, and then they said, no, you can't you can't work here, or like no, you can't get a promotion.
Yeah, like what's the point to just have the extra paper to just prove that you can do the work? I also like, I feel like it's a wrong standard to assess someone's capability.
Right.
It happens It happens with diploma and degree. You know, if you have a diploma, right, your entry pay is significantly lower than a degree holder. This is where the problem happens.
True.
Yeah, it might be possible. It's a Chinaman company. Tauke thinking like, one of the reasons I don't pay you much, right? I just say, oh, bro, you need
That's just
diploma,
evil,
bro.
That's just
That-
evil.
Yeah,
It
that's the red
happens,
flag
it
lah.
happens.
You just chow from the company already, bro. That's the red
It's
flag.
a red flag. Just
Yeah.
run.
Red flag already. Chinaman company,
Yeah.
red flag, chow.
Diploma and degree, they come in as the same pay, but eventually it's your skill set and your experience that help you move along, regardless whether you have a degree or diploma.
If you think that doing the particular degree is really very important, like a very specific degree, then that's a good thing. But if it's too vague, sometimes a very vague degree, you can have the option to do practical learning rather than that, or even do like a short diploma and then prove your skills lah.
That's better than getting trapped in a Chinaman company lah. So those that are studying degree and you are feeling trapped in a course that you don't like, it's not a dead end. You can still branch out to whatever field relevant. Atomy, MLM, day trading, crypto.
Okay, remember, this is not financial advice.
Marketing.
Like mass comm, content creator. There's a lot lah. It is not bound by your degree name.
Yeah.
So see you all next week.
Yeah.
Talks in Bolehland. We are signing out. Ciao.